I grew up in a shithole called a reservation in Canada. And there's about 1,000 such places that exist. And when I was growing up as a boy, I remember one of my first, I guess, understandings of resistance when I watched Palestinian people confronting Israeli armored vehicles, Israeli troops, and Israeli tanks, walking out and picking up stones and throwing them as a means to defend themselves against what would seem overwhelming odds. And I remember that because I remember people talking about the futility of that. How futile that is to go out and to sacrifice yourself, to carry out in that way seemingly in a battle that you can't win. In our community, and myself and my father, he said that's not futile. That represents principle, courage, and honor. Apartheid doesn't stop with the dispossession of the land or the dispossession of people from their resources or their economic base, but apartheid is about the continuous, unrelenting torture of a people when they're imprisoned and when they're confined and when the state doesn't stop and they continue in these ways to torture, to humiliate, to eliminate people from the face of the earth. And whether it's done for security of the state or whether it's done for the economic benefit of the state, that's what apartheid is. I can't go and stand on the lines in Palestine. I'm unable to go there. I don't come to these speakouts because before this, I believed that they were ineffectual. And I believed that people could do more. But in the case of this, in support of our sisters and brothers, in the fight against the Israeli occupation, well, this is the forum where we should be. This is the forum where we should be speaking out and standing up beyond any criticism and making these people accountable and telling them that we're watching them. And I just want to tell people how incredibly proud I am to stand here. How incredibly proud I am to look out here. I only ever talk to my people. And coming into this room, I feel like I'm talking to my people. When you look at your children, and to know that we're forging and providing a future, that our children will be able to look to us with pride, because we will have stood against the overwhelming odds that we're facing here and abroad, and that we're prepared to stand and fight so that our children will have an opportunity to exist. They will be the living proof of the struggle that we put into our hearts. They will be the evidence of our success, of our fight against oppression, apartheid, colonialism, imprisonment, not only in Canada, not only in Palestine, but around the world. Thanks, Tina.
Your MP, Peter Sherman, argued, as he proposed his resolution to condemn Israeli Apartheid Week in the Canadian Parliament last week, February 25th. He said that this is the land of law and order. This is a democracy, the only one, the only oasis of democracy in this desert of lack of democratic regimes in the Middle East. And it should not be singled out because it is an example of anti-Semitism. Fair enough, let's see if it continues. On April 5th, 2002, During the invasion of Nablus, Mahmoud Shobi tells us what happened to his brother's family. Bulldozers came and crushed the building, the house. When, after a while, they removed the rubble, they found his brother Samir holding the purse of his wife with its jewelry and children's clothes, a few meters away from their sister Fatima, who was hugging Samir's son, Anas, 4 years old. His hair had fallen because of destruction of the house, but he was still hugging his aunt. To the right of Fatima, her father, 85-year-old, and next to him, Abir's body, holding her mobile phone with one hand, and with the other holding her nephew, Abdullah, 9-year-old. In front of them, the mother, 7 months pregnant, Nabila, was holding her 7-year-old son, Azzam. The adults were dressed and ready to flee. The whole family was exterminated, save for an uncle, Abdullah, and his wife, Shamsa. She was disabled, and therefore she was unable to leave, and she thought that she will die there. These are the 2 people who were saved. All of them were gathered in 1 square meter at the door of their home, eternally embracing their children. I'm speaking to my Palestinian sisters and brothers. We really need to learn more. We do learn about other people's experiences of resistance, but we need to learn more and more and more. Not only because we need to know what other lessons we can learn, but also in order for us not to become demoralized, because it is so scary and it is so painful and it is so depressing to keep hearing about massacres after massacres after massacres. But if you hear of other people, if you hear that they still stand, you still stand. You stand on your land, you fight for your rights. If you hear of what happened in South Africa, you know that people fight for a very long time. Freedom is very difficult to come by. It has a very heavy price. We have to be able to be willing to stand. And the Palestinian people are standing. I'm not preaching, to you. Continuously there is efforts, because if Israel does not destroy every single Palestinian, there will always be one witness like Hamdallah standing and waiting and bearing witness to the injustices and willing to fight.
And very much within the struggle, it's always said that if somebody gives you freedom, then you can easily give it away. But when you go out into the trenches and you slog and you fight for it and you obtain it, then it can never be taken away from you. And